Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
All right, there it goes. Just getting Facebook up.
Hey, get that music rolling.
I'm like, oh wait, that's not part of the show.
You better turn some music on. Well, let me give the people some music. Some background. Only thing I could do is give you some Beyonce because I live in Houston and it's all about.
Yeah, I mean this is your show, so you go any music you like.
They might cut us off on YouTube. You know how they feel about other music.
Oh yeah, it'll only be like a 30-second clip.
Right.
It won't be the whole song.
Look, let me not even go there. For they be like, "That you do not own the rights to that music. Why are you?" All right, it hasn't popped up on YouTube for me yet.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah,
I see it.
It's up there.
Oh, yep, heard myself talking. All right, you got Facebook up and going too?
It's coming up. It's coming
okay.
up. It just takes a little bit longer. It's like a couple extra steps.
McKinley.
Just loading. Yeah, I mean it's just loading, but we can start while it's loading, and I'll try to multitask. All right. So good evening and welcome to this is episode 2 of Astoria's Story. I'm Nick, and then of course there's Astoria. What's going on, Astoria? How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? How you feeling today? It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, happy Wednesday. I'm pretty good. I've been a little exhausted this week, which the universe may have something to do with. We'll touch on that in a little bit. I mean, other than that, just working hard this week. Back to school, back to teaching, so that's a little bit exhausting, as well as the schedule change. I've been getting up earlier, so my usual routine is to go to work and do all that stuff, and then work out at the end of the day. But now I decided to get up early and work out in the morning, and then go to work. So I'm getting up a little bit earlier. So that's contributing to my fatigue a little bit as well. Just adjusting to that new schedule. I had to take a power nap today after I got off the clock.
Listen, I take power naps all the time. Matter of fact, sometimes on my lunch break, I just go sit in my car and take a 30-minute nap. And I'm like, just revived and refreshed. So I get it. I'm not changing my time clock to wake up earlier. I wake up early enough.
Yeah, see, you do. I don't. I already know that I need to start getting up earlier to maximize the day, because with all the things I need to do and all the things I could be doing, I could be more efficient with my days, and that's that came from a little bit of self-reflecting on my goals and the things that I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go in life and all of that. So I'm like, yeah, let me get up, maybe about an hour or two earlier than I'm used to getting up, see how it works out. It's just that part isn't the hard part. It's the consistency, just remaining consistent with it. Yeah. That'll be the challenge. But once I become consistent with it and make it into a habit, then it'll be like clockwork.
What is it? 30 days to create a habit.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm gonna say this. I listen to an affirmation. I mostly listen to it every morning, most of the time. But one of the things that it says in there is that discipline hurts. It's not fun. And so I think a lot of times we forget that the consistency means discipline, and discipline doesn't always feel good, but it's beneficial. So
absolutely,
perspective.
Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect way to look at it. It's not the easy thing. It's not the comfortable thing. It's not the attractive thing, but it's the most beneficial thing, for you to do.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start off with a recap of Money Mondays. So we still want the people to go over to your page and watch the whole thing. So don't give them everything. Just give them a little recap. Encourage them to go over there and check that out. I know you're talking about paying off debt. I went back and watched the replay there.
Well, thank you for watching the replay. I put it in a little series so that people could pick what resonates with them, or at least that's what I tried to do. So this week, I talked about paying off debt. And my special guest was supposed to be Stacy, and we'll reschedule that, but she had a family emergency, so we have to make things work when we can. And so I just talked about different ways that I pay off debt. And it works for me. So I would encourage you to go look at it. I also talked about having a bail fund. It's not pretty to talk about, but I think it's really important that we do that. And when I say bail fund, I mean, you can go watch the video to go in real details, but simple is saying that we live in a time where our Black brothers and sisters are being arrested, right? And instead of us having money to bail them out, we are trying to get funds together and do stuff. And a lot of times, even $500 works for a first-time offender. So just something to think about. So yeah, that was this week's Money Monday. Next week, man, it's gonna be lit. So you might as well just tune in next Monday because we're talking about stocks. My friend is actually a barber. He's my personal barber and a really good friend. And we're going to be talking about how he picks stocks and things like that. So, and he's not a trader. That's not what he does. And that's literally why I wanted to talk to him, because it's a normal person telling you this is what works for me. And here's how you can do it. So it takes the fear out of, I don't know where to put my money. Yeah. So that's Money Mondays. Yeah. Open conversation about money, man.
Yeah, that's always a great conversation. It's always a necessary conversation, and it's good. It's good that he's a non-trader, coming with this information, because a lot more people are becoming exposed to the stock market, and they're becoming intrigued or interested in the stock market, and they're looking to learn. They have questions. They're opening accounts. So yeah, I definitely encourage people to tune in and check that out, because he's just like everyone else. You all who are who want to get into the stock market game and get some extra income, or long-term investing going on. So yeah, tune in 6 p.m. That's
Monday.
Yeah. Monday, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's
4
on the Instagram page.
Pacific time.
Yeah, Pacific Time, all of that. Yeah, and that's on Instagram, Miss_story, STORI, not STORY, but STORI.
Yes, with an I, not a Y.
Yeah, exactly. But that, of course, that'll be in the description too. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna drop some gems on some stuff that I've been using too, like especially now that Cash App has stocks, Stash, Acorns that I've been using for a long time. Like we gonna really talk. We gonna jump into some things. So make sure y'all tune in. It's gonna be real good on Monday. I'm excited about Monday.
Oh, I'm excited too. I'm not even in the show, and I'm excited about it. Yeah. So that's gonna be really good. Yeah. So how's work been this week? With the doing the hairstyling, the hair cutting, and all that good stuff. How's that been so far, or just lately in general? The summer, going into the fall.
It has been interesting. I'm gonna say this: COVID has really changed the way the game is. So as far as the salon that I work in, to give a very accurate picture of how business is, imagine you used to do 575 a week, like 575 customers a week. Now we do half of that. So, and it's because we can't have many customers in the salon. There's only, a couple of stylists working at a time, blah, blah, blah. So, you look at it from a business standpoint and it looks, it doesn't look great. But that just means we had to change our model up of what we're doing and really focus more on the customers and try to, just try to do a little bit better. For me in my own personal business, this has been great for me because I was already doing mobile services before the pandemic started. So now that customers are like, oh yeah, I like that better. I didn't know you did that. And I'm like, I've always done it. I'm OCD about clean stuff anyway. So I literally come in and wipe down the place that I'm in. And then I'm gonna, take care of my customers. And I have a lot of older customers and executives and stuff. And they value their privacy. They value not having to be around people. So it works. I put my mask on, we wear our PPE, and it is what it is. I can say that back to school has been very different. It's not like I'm used to being so busy for back to school. Wow. And it's just not busy, but it's because, you think about it, kids are at home. I know here in Houston, HISD, which is the largest school district in Houston, they're all at home virtual learning. So although they're on a screen, their parents are probably not going to take them to go get a haircut. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the top priority to go get a haircut. And even if they were going to get a haircut, we might see them. We used to see customers once every 2 to 4 weeks. Now we're seeing people like 2 months. Like we saw them when like we went back. And then like it's been like 2 months and now they just not coming back. So it's kind of like it's a different dynamic. It's really interesting to see, the customer change. And I can say that's probably for everybody in the industry. I'm not saying people aren't busy and things aren't happening, but they probably definitely see the difference in the amount of customers that they can see and take at a time.
Okay. So since you had your mobile service set up, I guess you weren't as impacted as negatively as others in the industry. Is that correct?
Perfect. Yep. Perfect example. Listen, I work when I feel like it, to be honest. I set my schedule for my customers and I typically, we work out our calendars and we make it work. And so they pay me, great to, be with them. So I was out of work, during the first part, but I can't say I'm out of work. I could just say I wasn't working. I chose not to work because I didn't have to, if that makes sense. Like I was comfortable and I was okay. I could stick it out if we had to be a couple months quarantine, no problem, and that's because I got my emergency fund and things like that are important, which is why we talk about money. But I know other people that were affected, just not able to do stuff. So I just tell people they have to do what works best for them. I can move around more freely because I've set myself up that way, but it didn't start yesterday. I've been doing this for a minute and working towards those same goals. So I'm able to move around a little bit differently than others. So yeah, not really affected that much.
Right. So it's I guess in your conversations with your fellow hairstylists and barbers, I guess how have they been managing? Like what have they been doing to?
Well, I'll say this. At first, it seemed like it was so. Here, perfect example. So we'll use California as an example. They closed down first when everything shut down, and then we closed down thereafter, and then everybody was kind of closed together up until about like May or so. So a good 2 months. So from March till about May, people were closed. And even after that, people were kind of scared to come in. So Then like a month or two later, California closed again because they were like, yeah, no, y'all not doing. And they just opened back up on August 31st. And so with them just opening back up, it's only been maybe a week. They had a good week and Labor Day, week and a half, maybe a good 10 days or so to kind of get readjusted and reacquainted. And from what I hear, people are booked. You know, it seems like it's working for them, like it's okay. But what I'll say is while we were closed,
yeah,
you could see the struggle for people. Like, so I'm a person that pays attention to social media when it comes to hair, right? And so you can see a lot of barbers posting like, oh man, our hairstylists too, man, I wish he would go back to the old way. We not working, we need this, we need that. It was a lot of woe is me type of stuff instead of, okay, well, how can I creatively help my customers, right? So for me, I was like, okay, so I could do a Zoom thing with you. I can tell you about products. I did a whole thing called Industry Talks while I was out. Was that making money for me? No, but it kept me like active and around so that, you know, when I could move around, I was able to do it. And I was making care packages for customers. Like some people were doing it, but some people weren't really taking advantage of what they could be doing in order to push their business, like push it through. It was like a woe with me. Now that salons are open, people are like back in the salon, you know, it's almost like you see the facade of was you really struggling or what was really happening? So I will say that I know people struggled. I ain't gonna say they didn't struggle, but I think that we really have to just be cognizant of the way we display stuff because it looks one way, but we don't really know what's really happening, you know, and nothing is gonna go back to the way it was, like at all.
Right. Yeah, and that's something they all should be they should all take notice of it and prepare for that because the way you described it, it sounds like, you know, they're just acting like everything is like back to the way it was and everything's back to normal and they're just kind of, you know, happy go lucky, you know, when they should be making preparations and adjustments for, I mean, I'm not sure what exactly, but just preparing themselves for the future to be not the way the past was, you know, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So,
people have to look at other ways of income. Like, I know a lot of barbers and stylists miss out on selling products because they're like, I feel like I'm selling to people. And it's like, you're not selling to people. You're just giving them what they already need. Like, they already going to buy shampoo and conditioner. Why can't they buy from you? Like, in my mind, it don't logically make sense. But, you know, I think differently. So, I just think that there's other things that they can implement in their business, especially veterans that have been in the game for a long time that teach classes and do a lot of stuff like that, you know, whether it be for a big brand or for themselves. You just have to not reinvent the wheel, but just go digital. Like everything's been going digital for a long time. It's just like this pandemic forced people to be like, well, we have to do it now, you know? And so they have to prepare for classes are going to be virtual. I know Bronner Brothers had I think it was last week or something. They had a virtual hair show. Couple different brands have had virtual shows. And I think, not to say we won't be back in person, but if we do get back in person, it won't be the way it was at all. It's not going to be that type of show. So I think they should be prepared to make money in different ways, you know, not just, you know, cutting hair, but all different types of income, like all different ways, you know, 7 streams of income for real, like seriously.
Right. Yeah. And that was the philosophy even before the pandemic that people should have been following, you know, to have multiple streams of income. Yeah. I know here in New Jersey, you know, when everything shut down, you know, all the shops and the salons, you know, people were kind of they had the hair care version of the speakeasies going on. Having people sneak into the basement on the low to get their hair done, or opening up the shop on the sneak tip.
Yeah. I know
So
a lot of people did that.
yeah, so people were kind of putting themselves at risk by doing that, risk of getting caught.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's
the risk of them taking
it's
your license, like
yeah.
part of what people don't even think about is not only are you putting your health at risk, but they could take your licensure away from you. And a lot of people don't even value their licensure anymore. Like that's what I don't get. But a lot of people don't value that. But then they mad when they get ingrown hairs or hair bumps from stuff that's not clean on them, or some type of infection happens. Like all these different things that you learn from going to school and learning those things. Like literally the first chapter in the book is sanitation. Like
Wow.
but most people don't even think about that anymore, which so I'm kind of like glad that the pandemic happened, because it made people think about sanitation. Especially for people that's been in the industry and kind of lagged it off. But I'm also sad at the way it happened, because it changed things up. So I think it's good and bad. I think we can now say that the hair industry we used to say it was a recession-proof business. And so technically it still is if you do it right, but it's also not necessarily recession-proof, because you can see that they shut everything down quick. They was like, nope, we're not doing that. So
Right.
depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. It makes sense. Speaking of customers not being back for 2 and 3 months, I haven't been back to the barbershop. As a matter of fact, it was funny. Back in March, I was outside, taking a walk, and I saw my barber, driving past. And then we were talking about, because at first he was doing house calls, but then he saw a bunch of people get sick, people that he knew, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
So he said, so he's just giving me suggestions. I mean, which I already knew. I didn't really ask for the suggestions, but he said, he's like, well, I was wearing a hat already, so he's like, yeah, you could wear a hat, or you could go to Walmart and buy some clippers and cut your old hair. Yeah. So I'm like, that was a part of the plan. So what I actually ended up doing was I ordered some clippers. They came in the mail, because obviously everybody had the same idea. Everybody had the same idea and bought up all the clippers in the store. So you couldn't find any in the store, because people bought them up to cut their own hair. So I ordered some online, and that's why I've been doing. And I mean, it's not as sharp as it would be if I went to the barbershop, but I mean, I don't really go anywhere or see anybody. I'm not at work in a place where I can't wear a hat or anything like that. So it just works for me. Just cut it all the way down and just keep it moving. I don't even gotta shape myself up. I might do my face, but my hairline, I just leave it, and I still haven't been back to the barbershop. I haven't been there since February, and it's been open back up, for over a month now. I think it opened back up back in July, mid-July, I believe. So
basically, you can see where the industry is, right? You're not the only person that's at home cutting their hair. You know what I mean? Yeah. People are really being cognizant about what they value, right? And I'm not saying that they don't value haircuts, but if they're at home, they're like, whatever, I don't care, like nobody's seeing me. And so that's how people feel about their children too, because even before the pandemic, I know a lot of people I can't tell you how many times somebody would come in a salon and they hadn't had a haircut in 6 months, and I'm like, but why? and it's like all grown out and everything. And I'm like, I don't understand why you haven't had a haircut. They're like, because I try to make them last as long as possible. And I'm like, it really only lasts like 3 weeks max before it starts touching your ear. But okay, you know, so so I mean, you could just see if you at home cutting your hair, there's a lot more people at home cutting their hair. So and I think that, you know, that's kind of a direction that a lot of people are going. There's certain things that you can't get done at home. Like you could mess it up a couple times. And I put it this way. I can cut my own hair, but it looks better when I go to the barbershop. Like, I'm professionally trained to cut hair, but I'm telling you, I don't want to be looking cross-eyed and have a mirror and all the other. I just go get it cut. I want to relax just like everybody else.
Yeah. You know, and it's the perspective too. You know, the point of view and you know, being able to be able to see the whole head. You know, and not trying to use a mirror, use 2 mirrors and try to cut with the head. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. But yeah, I you know, I grew up on that. You know, I definitely grew up on the bathroom haircuts. But even when my mom cut my hair, you know, I noticed that it wasn't the same as when I went to the barbershop. But going back to the value thing, you know, I you know, also since I've been working with DJ the Money Coach and I've been so cognizant about money. I've also been thinking about the financial implications of getting a haircut. You know, not that I mean, I haven't been spending a lot of money on haircuts. I only get my haircut once a month when I go to the barber shop, you know, as opposed to every 2 weeks like I used to. You know, so yeah, every 2 weeks and maybe, you know, shape ups in between that time. You know, so you know, I used to be at the barbershop, you know, every other week, but now it's once a month. So I noticed I started saving money that way also, but I'm also realizing I'm saving a lot more money by not going at all too. So that's the other, you know, side of it, you know, for me, you know, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I see both sides to it. It's like for a woman, my guilty pleasure was always getting my nails done, right? So I haven't had my nails done since March. Like I literally, and that's whenever I go to the nail shop and get my feet done, I'm probably gonna spend like at least 120, 125, something like that around that time. And I was going every 3-4 weeks, right? So I'm let's just say once a month, I'm dropping 120 something. In between that, I might get a polish change or a toe change, whatever that is, right? So I haven't had my nails done since March. Now the bad part is I bite my nails, so it's not really great for me not to have something on them. But the other part is I'm saving money, you know, and I went to get a pedicure twice now since we've been back open. And I mean I saved some money, but it's like I said, it's that guilty pleasure. Like, so for guys, I think it's not even necessarily about having a fresh haircut. It's the experience, is what you go for, the people, you know, what's happening in there. So I think it's a give and take. You just have to be, like you said, cognizant of, you know, what you're spending on, where are you spending your money at. So that means if I go get my feet done or I go get my nails done, then I need to drink coffee at home and I can't spend $5 at Starbucks every day. You know, like just make the money work where it's supposed to work at, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, we'll see where the industry goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It's a lot more education online, I can tell you that. It's always been there, but it's a lot more education online. I mean, myself included, doing educational classes online because, you know, people need the education. They want it. So you meet them where they are. No problem with me.
What do you mean by education? Explain that a little bit more.
So like cosmetology or barbering education. As far as like, so I work in natural hair a lot. So doing classes for natural hair, teaching people about it. You have to think about like, so a lot of times natural hair or curly hair is frowned upon in professional whatever, right? Society wise. And so my mission has always been to change the narrative, and so it's been more education around that, meaning like, you know, you have the Crown Act where people are literally passing legislation so that people are not discriminating against people's hair types and hair textures. So when that happens, that means that more stylists need to be educated on it. And when I say more stylists, I'm not necessarily talking about brown stylists, because we do get educated, but sometimes we don't get educated. I'm just saying in general, people just need more education or more knowledge on how to work in it, because people are afraid to work in it. So, or pretend that they're afraid to work in it, whatever. So, teaching classes that way, education on curly hair. But I've seen education on pretty much anything I could think of that's in our industry has been a lot, like how to do a lineup, just different things like that. You know, using a razor, how do you get the sharp, you know, lines with whatever. I have not been a person that's big on razors. I can use them, I could do it. I love to do a full shave, like, now that's fun. But lineups not so much. And it's mostly because I've always dealt in older clientele, and older guys don't want fresh. They're like, just keep a natural hairline, I'm good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I got you. You know, yeah, and that you know, that helps in times like this. You know, adding to your skill set. You know, and that way, you you know, you become more of a resource, and you can offer more services and potentially expand your clientele because you have more skills and more services that you can offer to your clients and potential clients. So yeah. So I mean, like I said earlier, even without the pandemic, that's something that everyone should be doing. You know, regardless of what their field or industry is, they should continue to be adding on to their skill sets and education. You know, so they can they can perfect their craft. You know, pretty much. Yeah.
Information and knowledge is infinite, so you can never know too much.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, like you said, it'll definitely be interesting to see where the hair care industry is going. You know, for all the people who are working in the hair care industry, if you've been listening, you know, just make sure that you're picking up on these financial tips so you can be prepared. We don't know what's going to happen with this pandemic, if things are going to get shut down again as the weather starts to cool down. You know, you heard the gems about furthering your education so you can perfect your craft and become more valuable. So yeah, those are definitely some key takeaways there.
Yeah.
So so in this last part, you know, this last segment of tonight's episode, tonight's show, is kind of like a little bit of a follow-up to last week's show. we talked a bit about spirituality and astrology and things like that. And on social media and on the internet, I've been seeing posts about Mars being in retrograde this week. And yeah. So I've read a little bit on it. You know, just seeing that I mentioned being tired earlier. I read that you know, the Mars retrograde can contribute to, you know, that fatigue feeling, that drain feeling, amongst other intense energies and feelings. Yeah. So, Astoria, what more can you tell us about Mars being in retrograde, as you are the resident astrologist here?
Wow, the resident astrologist. Okay, I'll take that. I don't read other people's charts. I read mine, but I can't. So I'll say this. First of all, let me just take the fear away from retrogrades. Most people are like, oh my God, it's retrograde. All the bad stuff is going to happen. It's so much negativity. I'm not going to know what I'm doing. That's not absolutely true. That's not an absolute thing. What happens is all the planets go forward. And at some point, they retrograde. And what that means is they stop in a certain space and they kind of go backwards a little bit, but it goes slower. But what it means is that's a time for reflection. So especially within this retrograde, it's a time to think about pretty much everything that you were doing before this happened. So we were in this different type of energy ever since I think August of 2018. We've had a different type of energy happening, and you can see that lots of things were increasing in intensity, as we've been going through. So it's a time for you to reflect, and typically you reflect over the last 6 months. So the interesting part about today is it's actually 9-9, and you deal in numerology, so you know about these numbers. But what I'll say is 9-9 is a culmination point is coming. You are in a period of acceleration and growth. So you have to keep connected to your center and know the way through. So you have to trust your wisdom. So today is one of those days where you literally need to trust yourself. Gather your powers and, really just kind of sit with what's happening. And then moving forward, because you kind of get a little bit of the energies a couple of days before and a couple of days after you start to feel it. And then moving forward, typically what you would say about a Mercury retrograde is not to make any major decisions. As in, sometimes you can start a new business if you've already been working through that and it's a good time to push forward. You thought about it, it makes sense. But if you think of an idea right now in the middle of retrograde, it may not be the best time to start it, if that makes sense. And then a couple of other things. What I was about to say. Oh, so I already said it. Claim your power, ground in your energy for retrograde. Transfer your anger. So if you're angry about something, anything like that, you want to make sure you transfer that anger away. Release through exercise and balance your energy levels. So a lot of it is just really thinking about the energy around you. And this retrograde is actually in Aries, which is interesting. So with Aries, they're pretty bold. If you know anything about an Aries, they're a fiery sign. They can be really fire sign, yeah. So it's a good time to calm the energy. Even though there's bold energy around you, it's a good time to be calm. It's a good time to just reflect. And you'll be going through this retrograde through November 13th. So, retrogrades are pretty long. So this is September. So you get two good months, September 9th to 13th, 2 good months. So good 60 days of retrograde reflection. And coming out of the retrograde, moving forward, you'll be able to push forward on all the decisions and stuff, or all the things that you were thinking about during the retrograde. So that's kind of an overview. You got to do your own forecast for your own sign, but that's the overview of what happens for everybody.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, the universal energy. So there you go. Take that reflection time. Reflect on everything that's happened. Reflect on those thoughts and those decisions, and trust that wisdom. Apply that wisdom when November comes around and it's time to make those decisions and put those thoughts into action and manifest those visions and all of that. As far as the nines go, on the calendar we have September 9th, but we add a little bit differently in numerology. So we're actually under 444 right now because 444 because we start with the universal year. This is 2020. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 4, and then we find a universal month by adding the the month to the current year. So we're in the 4-year. We're in the 9th month. So 4 plus 9 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. So we're in a 4 universal month. So we're in a 4 universal year, 4 universal month, and a 4 universal day, actually, because today is the 9th. And 9 plus 4 is 13, and 1 and 3 is 4. So yeah, yeah. So it's all about the 4s. It's all about the 4s.
Wow.
Yeah. So so there you go. We I don't want to take up your time. Well, I don't want to take up my time either, because we both got things to do. But don't worry, we'll definitely be back next week for another another installment. But before we get out of here, Astoria, just run down all of your information, your website, your social media, your classes. Is that shirt for sale too that you got on? That's your shirt too, right?
It is.
Yeah. Show them the shirt.
Let me see. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, I know y'all like that. I know y'all ladies like that right there.
The shirts are for sale. I have to restock. I sold out, so I have to restock. But as soon as I restock, they'll be back up again. They come in white and in black. So the way you'll find everything is on the website, www.theiamqueen.com. So THEIAMQUEEN.com. My social media on Instagram is going to be Instagram and Twitter is at Miss Story. So MS_STORI. All together with the I, not a Y. On Facebook, it's Astoria 2 Cute Stubs. It's been my Facebook name for forever, since Facebook was in existence, and I'm not changing it, so whatever. And let's see, on Instagram for my business, it's at TheIamQueenHair. So you can find me on any of those things. If you go to my personal page, you'll see all the stuff listed as well. You'll be able to get in contact with me. Of course, every Monday is Money Mondays, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every Monday, and then of course every Wednesday night we are here 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Astoria Story. I like the name. We sticking with it. Astoria Story. We're gonna talk about industry. We're gonna talk about money. We're gonna talk about astrology, numerology, all the things that are outside of just me being a hairstylist, because I get tired of talking about hair sometimes. So yeah, so we're gonna leave it at that. And I was gonna say one more thing before we get out of here. So although 99 in numerology is the 444 day, isn't 99 like one of those angel numbers though? Like, isn't something that if you see nines like multiple times or something like that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Any number can be an angel number. Okay. If you repeat it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because like it's not my number, but 11s, 7s, 8s are my thing. But yeah, I was just wondering because it may mean something different for somebody else. So you never know.
It does have some meaning. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the angel numbers yet. That's a new area of numerology for me. I'm mostly familiar with the basic meaning and definitions of the numbers 1 to 9. But I have to do more study on the angel numbers and the repeated numbers. But I know that the number 9 is the universal number. It's it's the humanitarian number. People who carry the number 9 energy are inspiring leaders. On the positive side, on the negative side, the number 9 is associated with accidents, war, violence, things like that. So when you notice things that are going on in the country, and you see 9 surrounded by it, you might see America being at war with another nation or another country or something like that. Yeah. When it comes to health, if you have 9s in your name or your birthday, you run the risk of being accident prone, you know, and you got to be careful with sharp objects and fire and explosions and things like that. So yeah, I have to do some more studying on the angel number, you know, when it comes to seeing the number 9 repeated, you know, in different places. But yeah, as for, you know, as for me, or as for us over here, you can tune back in on Friday night at 8 o'clock p.m. for my show, Nick's Knowledge and Notions. That's 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. You know, just stay tuned for all of our shows, our upcoming interviews. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, 7 Spheres of Money. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, 7 Spheres of Money. Get on the email list by going over to DJTheMoneyCoach.com and dropping in your name and your email to subscribe to that list to receive the updates. And yeah, that's about it. So on behalf of the founder of the 7 Spheres of Money, DJ the Money Coach, you know, Astoria and I wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money. Peace of mind. Oh yeah, I'm loving the body language and the, you know, the symbols to go along with it. That's cool right there. And, yep, and we want you to join us on the Beaches of the World Club. So until Friday, take care.